Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here today. This is going to be another episode of the side yard project. At this point in time, we have cleaned up the side yard, we've tilled the ground, we've laid down the fabric, all the sand, we also laid the paver pathway. So now it is a matter of finishing up the side edge, so we're going to actually pour some concrete along the sides of the paver pathway. That way the pavers stay in place. If you don't do this, eventually the sand underneath will wash away and they'll kind of just like, if you put too much weight on the corner or something, the paver will kind of buckle. So adding the concrete will lock it in place and make sure that these are not going anywhere. Once we're done with that, we are going to add the polymeric sand, which is super easy, just very time consuming, honestly. But I'm going to share all that with you guys today. And we're also going to be mulching the side yard, and it turned out incredible. I cannot wait for you to see today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let's dive right in.
I'm so sorry.
Just start laying it down there. Probably down the other side. There was a few areas I had to fix before we got started because, like I said earlier, the sand starts washing away and the pavers will start kind of falling off. So this is what the concrete is going to do. It's going to like just hold it in place, and I'm just using my gloves and kind of just creating like a triangle to make sure that it's kind of thick at the top where the pavers are, and then kind of goes down at an angle. That way it'll drain well also. So that's just how I looked it up online. There's so many different ways you can do this. You can actually buy like a roll of plastic that you can put under the pavers. It was just really expensive, and I felt like this was the easier option.
You stepped in it? In the concrete? Look at those big ass pots.
No, Knox, I'm burning!
He's getting there.
Knox, come on.
Oh, he's all in it.
So yeah, basically we're just working together. Dylan is going to shovel. He's mixing it and shoveling it at the same time. Mixing concrete by hand is not an easy task. So he's just mixing it and, kind of just putting little chunks along the edge. And then I'm using my hands to smooth it out. You can also use a trowel, it's like a tool that you can use. But I just found that using my hands was much easier. I think I mentioned this like in a previous video where I was working on the side yard, but the plan for the area like where we are standing up to the front of the house, all of that is going to be a potted garden. I do not want to actually bury anything in the ground because it's like we have our water there. A lot of our plumbing is actually running along this side yard. I don't want to dig anything in the ground if we can avoid it. So I feel that having just a potted garden on this spot, and then behind where I'm standing, all in the back, we can actually bury plants if we want to and plant them in the ground. I think I'm just going to stick to a potted garden though, just so that way if like, I don't know, we need to move it for whatever reason, if it needs more sun, I think we'll have better luck. We did a garden one time, and we actually did like a in-ground raised garden bed, and the garden was great until it hit summertime, and then it did not last long. The sun burned all of our plants. We didn't have enough shade. It just was too much. The Florida sun is brutal here. So I actually think we're going to have some really great luck on the side yard with a garden because we do get some level of shade over here at some points in the day. So we'll see. I'm really excited. But now moving on to the polymeric sand, we worked on this together for the first section, and then once I learned how to do it, I just did it myself. But the polymeric sand is really easy. You just pour it in place, and then you just sweep it into the cracks, and then you kind of spritz it with water. You just get it a little damp, let it dry. You blow off the extra that is still, actually hold on before you would be better off just watching a tutorial on it, because it is one of those things you have to kind of learn as you go. We didn't realize that you have to blow off all the extra polymeric sand. You do not want to wet this unless you have all the polymeric sand off of the actual paver and only in the cracks. So use your blower. So after you get it all swept into the cracks, you're going to use your blower on low and blow all the extra polymeric sand that's on the top. Then wet it, let it dry, add more polymeric sand, sweep it off again or blow it off, and then you're going to also wet it again. And you're going to keep doing that process until the cracks are full. So it is a process, but it's definitely worth it. It made a huge difference. It looks so good. I did want to also mention the polymeric sand is expensive. I want to say my bags were like $34, but I thought When I saw the bag, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not just spend that much on this sand. But it goes such a long way. You'll be surprised. Like, this one bag was able to do this entire pathway. Granted, the cracks that we have are not that wide. I tried my best to keep the pavers as close together. So the wider your pavers are apart, the more sand you're going to need. But this stuff goes a long ways. For some reason, apparently I just didn't think it was necessary to show you guys me watering it. But I definitely did spray it with the water hose. I don't know why I didn't film it. I filmed it for my for my Instagram reels and TikTok, but for some reason I didn't hit record on my camera. So I apologize for that, but really all you do once you get the sand all in the cracks, like I said, spray it with water, let it dry, do it again. And you just keep repeating that process. Now, we did end up deciding to mulch both sides of the pathway just because we feel like it's going to be a lot easier to maintain than dealing with the grass and the weeds. So we heard from a lot of people after we laid down that completely pointless fabric, or like weed barrier fabric, that cardboard boxes keep grass and weeds away. So we decided to use all the cardboard boxes we had stacked up that needed to go to recycling. And apparently you can just lay cardboard boxes and kind of just like overlap them, and it'll not only kill the grass that's there, so you don't have to worry about pulling all of that up, but it'll also keep it from growing back in, and also the weeds. And I'll keep you updated for sure. I mean, worst case scenario, we do have a little bit of grass that grows up. We'll just pull it and spray some weed and grass killer. No big deal. But we're going to work on that, but really quick, I wanted to share today's sponsor, BALI Outdoors. I'm so excited to be working with them today. Y'all know we have been working so hard on our backyard, and this is just the perfect addition to our new backyard space. So this is the BALI Outdoors 42-inch propane fire pit table. So if you're looking for something that's both functional and decorative for your outdoor space, this one does check off all the boxes. The frame is made out of solid steel, so it is definitely going to withstand all the weather elements, whether it's rain, snow, sun, just everyday wear. It's going to definitely stand the test of time. The assembly was really easy as well. I know a lot of you guys are always interested in that. I know for me personally, sometimes if the assembly is hard, I'm like, I am not buying it. So I can tell you this was very easy to put together. Dylan and I just kind of worked together, and we even had our favorite helper, Knox. Knox is not included in the fire pit purchase, although he would be a great help to everyone. He's definitely our little shadow and loves working on all the projects with us. But once we got it all assembled, I really also love that it has like a little door on the side, and that is actually where you keep your propane tank, up underneath the fire pit, so it's out of sight. That way you don't have to worry about it getting knocked over or have to deal with the appearance of a propane tank. You know, sometimes they're not always the most aesthetic with all the hoses and stuff like that, so that tucks it away and makes it nice and aesthetic and clean looking. I also really like the fiberglass that it came with. The blue is so beautiful, and whenever it's actually lit up, it just shines so pretty. I love it so much. And this fire pit also doubles as a tabletop, so that's great, especially if you live in like a hot climate like we do here in Florida. We only get a couple cold months out of the year, but not to worry. This is not only going to give you the warmth when you need it, but also the functionality of a table when you're not needing the fire pit. It lights up instantly with the pulse ignition system and puts out up to 60,000 BTU, so you're going to stay nice and warm around this fire, and you're not going to have to worry about all the smoke that a regular wood burning fire pit puts off. This is one of the reasons I wanted a new gas fire pit, was because we've tried the wood burning fire pits on the patio and it is not going to work. The smoke is just all in your face. It's not ideal. Not to mention the smell. My clothes, my hair, the house, the neighbor's house will stink from the smoke. So with this BALI Outdoors 42-inch fire pit table, you're not going to worry about that. You simply turn it on, enjoy the fire, turn it off when you're done, put the lid on it, and get to use it as a table as well. So it is just, it's amazing. I love it so much. If you are ready to upgrade your patio nights, use the link down below in my description to check out BALI Outdoors today. And a huge thank you to BALI Outdoors for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into the Sideyard project. So we finished laying out the cardboard boxes. I am overlapping them a little bit. I did read that that was really important to do to make sure the weeds and grass don't grow through the cracks. So we did that. And then the reason why we were throwing bricks on them was to keep them from blowing away, because at this point in time, we didn't realize that we were going to do the mulch until we kind of talked about it. We were already making a trip to Lowe's. Might as well go ahead and grab it and throw it down. That way we don't have to deal with the boxes flying everywhere. So we grabbed 20 bags of mulch from Lowe's, and now we're just going to go ahead and get those laid out and start opening them up. This mulch is not heavy at all, and it actually spreads really easy. And in my opinion, it goes really far. I love this stuff. I'm actually going to be using this in the little front flower beds. Y'all know I've been struggling with that area for years, not knowing if I should just keep grass there or if I should lay weed barrier and try different mulch. But ultimately, we decided that as long as the mulch glue that I bought holds this mulch together pretty well and it still allows it to drain, if all that goes as planned, this mulch would be really beautiful in those front flower beds in the front of the house. So I'm hoping we can get them. And these are about $4.03 a bag. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. $4.30 a bag, I believe. So not too bad for how nice of the bark mulch that this is, in my opinion. I originally wanted to do black mulch, but I'm so glad that that didn't work out because I think that this just gives a beautiful pop of color. I do realize that over time it will fade, especially here in the Florida sun and all the rain that we get at times, but it's no big deal. We can always just add, they actually have a spray that you can spray on the mulch to add more vibrant color to it. You can also preserve it with certain sprays, and they even make a spray paint for the mulch. Isn't that crazy? There's so many new products these days. Like if you have a problem, there is going to be a solution out there somewhere. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, eventually we'll have to like freshen it up over time, I'm sure. But for now, it looks real pretty, and that was the goal. The ultimate goal was to make this side yard look a heck of a lot better than it did. So yeah, we're gonna work on laying the mulch out and just spreading it out as best as we can. And something a lot of you were asking after I shared on Instagram was if the cardboard was draining well, and I don't think it is draining very well. So we're gonna have to poke some holes in it, which won't be too bad. We'll just take like a pitchfork and just stab some holes in the mulch. It should be fine. But just keep that in mind. When you first lay down cardboard, it sometimes takes a while to soak in the water. So if you have a flooding issue, probably not the best idea to start with unless you go ahead and poke holes in it. Next part that I want to work on for this side yard project is like a little archway I'm going to be building. That way I can plant my grapevine. I think that would be really pretty to have like an archway that has vines growing up and over. So that's the game plan. I already purchased the wood for it. It's just a matter of getting that project done. So that'll be the next step to the side yard project is the archway. And then we're going to start building some planter boxes to run down like in just certain areas. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to set it up just yet. We'll figure it out. But we've been hard at it. You can see here, this is what it looked like before. After a little bit of cleaning, this is what it looked like. And then now it is just a beautiful pathway to the backyard. It's so much more functional. And it looks a heck of a lot better too, that's for sure. And since we are hosting Thanksgiving here at my house this year, I was excited to have this project done. A lot of times we do go from the front in the backyard a lot with the kids, so it's going to be nice to be able to have this pathway to walk down. And like I said, I'm happy to be finishing up some of these projects, because unfortunately I overdid it. I had so many projects going at once, which was fun and enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, like I love to overwhelm myself. It seems like I just thrive in that environment. But I am happy to see some of them, you know, kind of coming to, not like coming to an end per se, because there's still a lot that needs to be done, but just getting to like little stopping points where I can take a little break from them. So this is a great stopping point here to move on to the next, until we were ready to move on to the next project. But anyway, by the time you're watching this video, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, so I just wanted to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Be safe and have fun with your family and friends, and I will see you guys in just a couple days with a new video. Bye, y'all.